There's something about shoddy looking early 2000s construction that makes you feel like you're living in an underground cyberpunk movie slum, but one directed by a white guy. Before I was born, I heard there used to be an operating roller coaster in this mall before it was decommissioned after an accident, which, while tragic, I think adds to the vaguely dilapidated aesthetic. When you consider that in 10 or 20 years this type of architecture will get phased out completely, it leaves me with a bit of a melancholic feeling, though that might just be from hormone imbalance from a poor diet or undiagnosed health conditions from a sedentary lifestyle. In the days of Yahoo auctions over a decade ago, a little boy saw a listing for a very big mint green alpaca online, but the seller didn't offer shipping, so he had to travel for hours to a mall that he thought was grimy and outdated. It feels a bit strange to visit George's birthplace, or well, trafficked place, after all these years and see that it's received no renovations. Something that's inescapable these days is claw machines. I'm genuinely sick of them, even though I was tempted and pondering wasting my money for a few minutes in silence. But what I couldn't resist was getting a gashapon of a gashapon machine, and while I shockingly got the color I wanted, I have the patience of a toddler, so I was immediately disappointed to see that we had to assemble and add stickers to it ourselves. I'm sick of showing arcades and blogs, and though this mall's arcade was fairly standard, it had a Disney Magical World Disney Princess photo machine, which I actually really wanted to try out of novelty, but I was having one of those really bloated days since I only eat trash and didn't even want to film. But when you're an adult, you've got to ration time for hobbies, and I could go on and on about this, but that's just boring to talk about. And even though the standard addiction trap claw machines were new, I did find a very interesting Hello Kitty ride outside. I felt like a dirty cheater to my one and only idol cinema roll, but it was the only sort of kitsch and worn out attraction nearby, so I had my 3 seconds of fun. Afterwards, I saw that there was a pretty famous antique store nearby, so I just had to take a look and bumped into a cat as well. I didn't really have a lot of plans or extracurriculars when I was young, so I would blow all my allowance on toys. So seeing a sort of mini toy museum containing pieces that I recognize from my childhood and the childhoods of people all around the world collected here is really fascinating. Have you ever thought about what would happen to your material possessions when we're all gone? When I went to Cambridge a few months ago, I walked past the Winnie the Pooh manuscript, and that reminded me of those videos and pictures I would see online of the original Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal locked inside a glass box at a museum. A part of me thinks that it's beautiful that something that was once loved can be preserved and kept indefinitely for the whole world to admire, while another part of me is sad that they don't have proper owners to love them. Will George end up in a museum in the future? I think I'd like that. Thoughts like that enter my head a lot, and it's why I can't watch Toy Story. It just makes me feel sad. I'm missing a lot of observational commentary by going off on that tangent, but I think it's relevant. At these thrift store type places, old comics are standard, but they also sold personal photographs from a century ago, and I'm not sure who the target audience is, but it's funny to imagine your photo album being sold as photo cards to hipsters without you knowing. To be honest, I didn't really resonate with the products there, even though I like the idea of a toy museum. I'm not huge on museums in general, but I always wanted to go to the Bunny Museum in California, so it really broke my heart when it burnt down this year. Though, unlike most people, I'm actually really into creepy old dolls, so I got some fulfillment out of being here, I guess. I think it would be a different story if I was a Hello Kitty fan though. Like I said, I do not care for her, but I still decided to pick up this vintage toy car because the packaging was just so unique. Despite her constantly losing in popularity polls to the much better looking cinema roll, basically every other item in the store was Hello Kitty themed, and it was just insulting to me, really. But maybe all cinema roll owners just kept their merch as generational heirlooms because he's that much prettier. This is bad footage, but I think there's even one of the maybe not original but early generation Tamagotchi there as well. I would imagine that everything here is priced and accounted for in inventory, but you have to wonder if people would really be interested in buying some of this stuff. Maybe I'm wrong and this moldy leather briefcase is actually a priceless artifact that when restored can be sold for millions, but I couldn't help but feel a little disappointed that nothing stood out to me. I think they're fun to look at, but realistically, a lot of this stuff would be the equivalent of things you could buy at the grocery store now for a few bucks. Not this doll though. I don't know what she is, but she's very pretty. There's also quite a lot of Happy Meal paraphernalia that I remember owning from being a fat kid in my youth. I didn't get to have any of the cool 90s toys obviously, but I did have the little Hamburglar figure. Speaking of dolls, and this is completely unrelated to the footage, do you guys know about that Tommy February Blythe doll tote bag that they showed in Ugly Betty? I didn't even know about Blythe dolls until this year, but one day I really want to at least see one in real life. The tote bag, I mean, not the dolls, unless it's the Tommy version. Anyways, back to the footage. Even though I liked the vibe and the idea of this place, it just felt like something was missing upstairs. After the crowd disappeared, I went back downstairs, which was honestly a bit boring, but when I looked on this one rack and I saw the little Star Wars keychains, it really triggered a core memory of me going to the mall as a kid. Even though I didn't buy anything besides the Hello Kitty car, I think I really appreciated the things this place reminded me of. I might hate filming this type of 2000s aesthetic vlog, but I'm grateful for having that sensory flashback. I'll elaborate on this in the description blog, but I'm honestly never going to release a vlog too similar to this or the original vlog. This is an homage to Again. Anyways, thank you to Annette Moriori, Cod, Hani, Zeno, Amy Louise, Jihyokinesis, Angeli, Chat Buggy, Sammy, Bree, Iced Coffee, and the other top tier members who didn't sign up for shoutouts as well. And of course to all my other members as well. Time really flies when it's already my third video of the year, and a lot of you have been supporting me since the latter half of my first year, so I'm grateful that you like me unconditionally of the video concept. If you would like to have an avatar, shoutouts, use for emoji stickers, watch me do long form let's plays, and more, then do consider joining my membership. The base tier is always the lowest price in your region, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you sooner than you think.